Welcome to the 23rd annual Solstice in Times Square Mind Over Madness Yoga. Please be sure to visit our sponsor tents in the Yoga Village on Broadway between 43rd and 45th Streets right after class for a showcase of cold beverages to cool you off and other offers from our partners. This class is being streamed on Facebook Live and Twitter at Times Square NYC, so text your friends to watch and check your feeds later today as well. And now, please welcome back Times Square Alliance President Tom Harris, along with event co-founder Douglas Stewart.
Thank you, Joe, and welcome to Times Square. We're so excited to have you here for our 23rd annual Yoga in Times Square Mind Over Madness. Today wouldn't be possible without the fantastic team at the Times Square Alliance who strives every day to create positive, great experiences for the hundreds of thousands of people who visit Times Square. We hope you enjoy your yoga today in Times Square, and we would love for you to come back to see a show, have a meal in a restaurant, or just enjoy the greatest free show in the world, people watching in Times Square. I'm going to turn it over to Douglas Stewart, the founder of this event.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. Namaste. Good to see you. Yay. Thank you for coming. Those of you that are returning, thank you for coming back. Welcome to Times Square. I see people wearing their coordinated T-shirts. Yay. From Yoga Flow over there. Welcome, everybody. Little baby in the class this morning was doing handstands and all that kind of stuff. She must have been only 3. Anyway, long story short, Tim and I gave birth, I guess, to this event maybe 23 years ago, definitely 23 years ago, with the intention of just coming to the square just like you are now to practice yoga, to clear our minds, to strengthen and our bodies, bring flexibility and ease, not only to ourselves, but to our friends and neighbors, and maybe all the people across the globe can benefit by your being here practicing these ancient principles. I'm so happy that you're here. Please be inspired by the new teacher, the next teacher, Riva, that's coming to practice with you. Enjoy your evening, your afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much.
And here to lead your class today, she is an international yoga teacher and functional mobility specialist based here in New York City. She has been sharing her love of mindful movement and healthy living for over 15 years as an instructor, content creator, and contributing writer. Her classes creatively combine strength, flexibility, breath, and awareness. She is the founder of Renew with Riva, a wellness app where she shares her customized yoga, Pilates, mobility, and guided meditation sessions. She especially enjoys teaching at yoga festivals and wellness events all over the world. Times Square, please welcome Riva Gdanski.
Hi, guys. Hello, hello. I am so excited to be here, flowing together with all of you in middle of our Times Square yoga studio for the day. Cannot wait. We've got a fun class. We're going to go ahead and get started right away. So when you're ready, we're going to come to lay on our back. And go ahead and step your feet nice and wide, almost as wide as your mat, and let your knees fall in so they're resting on one another. And rest your left hand on your heart, right hand on your belly. And once you feel comfortable, go ahead and close your eyes and just tune into your breath. We're just taking a moment right here to welcome ourselves to the mat and tune inward. See if you can make your next inhale the deepest, slowest inhale of the day. And then see if you can make your exhale even deeper and slower than the inhale. Again, inhale nice and slow. And as you exhale, see if you can allow your body to grow a little heavy, noticing the ground beneath you, and even noticing the noises, the sounds all around. We're going to have that through our practice today. But once you've noticed them, see if you can tune them out and then turn your attention inwards. Let's take another slow inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, see if you can release any expectation you have for your practice today, any expectation of what you think your postures need to look like. They don't need to look like mine, and they don't need to look like the person next to you. It's not what our practice looks like that matters, but how it feels for us. So you're in the driver's seat. This is your practice. I'm just here to offer some suggestions. Let's take one more deep inhale. And then big exhale, sigh it out. And then blink your eyes open. Go ahead and pull your knees in, giving yourself a nice hug. And bring your hands to the top of your knees. Just begin to circle them together and apart, warming up the hips with some gentle movement. Together and apart. One more time in this direction. And then switching up the direction of those hip circles, apart, together, apart and together. And just taking 2 more circles right here. And then go ahead and reach your legs and your arms all the way up to the sky. Don't worry if your knees aren't straight. That's okay. Just begin to circle your hands and your feet. We're rolling out the wrists and the ankles. Again, with some gentle movements, moving in one direction first. And then circling the other way. Beautiful. Now lower your hands, but keep your legs extended upward. And point your toes up to the sky. Just feel those quads, the front of your legs, just start to activate. And then as you exhale, flex your feet. So reach your heels to the sky, toes towards your nose. Feel the backs of the legs, get a nice little stretch. Again, point, inhale, and exhale, flex. Let's do that 2 more times. Point, and flex, and point, and flex. Now keep that right leg where it is. Just lower the left foot to the floor, knee is bent, and clasp your hands together behind your right knee. Go ahead and draw your knee as close to your chest as you can. As you inhale, we're gonna straighten the leg as much as we can, reaching the heel to the sky. And as you exhale, point the toes, bend the knee. Again, inhale, flex the foot, and just reach the heel up to the sky. Exhale, point and bend. We're gonna do that 2 more times. We're just adding some movement. We're flossing our sciatic nerve. Inhale to straighten, and exhale to bend. Now take that right ankle, cross it above your left knee, so we're coming into this figure 4 shape with the legs. Flex that right foot, and without using your hands, just reach that right knee as far away from you as you can. We're looking for a nice stretch in that outer right hip. So option 1 is stay right here if you're feeling it. Option 2, clasp your hands behind your left knee, or maybe even around the front of your left shin if you're looking for something a little deeper. Taking a few breaths here, keeping that right foot flexed. Just breathing into the stretch, noticing how it feels today. And then lower your left foot down, lower the right foot down, and clasp your hands behind the back of your left knee. Again, draw that knee as close to your chest as you can. With your inhale, flex your foot, reach that heel up to the sky, and with your exhale, point your toes, bend the knee. Inhale, flex and straighten, and exhale, point and bend 2 more times, moving with the breath, just warming things up. Last time. And crossing left ankle above right knee, reaching that left knee as far away from you as you can. And again, finding the variation that feels good for you, whether that right foot is on the ground or that right hand is clasped behind or in front of that right knee. We're breathing into the stretched left hip. Taking another moment here to notice how it feels. And then go ahead and lower both feet down. Bring your feet about hip distance and Slide them closer to you so you can just graze the backs of your heels with your fingertips. Arms are down by your sides. We're going to come to a few bridge lifts here, warming up the back body. So as you inhale, tuck your tailbone and peel up one vertebrae at a time, lifting the hips all the way up to a bridge pose. Activating those glutes, reaching the hips towards the sky, but keep your head and neck in neutral. Beautiful. We're going to exhale and lower down one vertebrae at a time. Try to keep your knees parallel to each other. Let's do that again. Inhale, tuck the tailbone and roll up one vertebrae at a time. Squeeze those glutes, reach those hips up. And with your exhale, slowly lower down. Now go ahead and just heel toe your feet a little closer together so big toes are touching. With your inhale, we're going to roll up one vertebrae at a time back to our bridge pose. And this time we're going to extend right toes up to the sky, so single leg bridge. We're going to add some pulses, really working that left glute here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep those hips lifted. Just lower the right foot, extend the left leg, adding those pulses here for 10, 9, 8, 7. Keep squeezing that right glute. You got it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower that left foot and slowly lower the spine back to the ground. Go ahead and pull your knees in and rock yourself all the way up and make your way onto your hands and knees right near the back of your mat. And go ahead and tuck your toes, and you can use your hands to help with that baby toe that tends to get a little stuck sometimes. Feet are hip distance apart. Just feel that stretch through the soles of the feet for a moment here. And then go ahead and put your hands on the floor, walk them forward, keep your hips reaching back towards your heels as we make our way to this child's pose variation, resting ears alongside the arms, belly lowers down. Just feeling that nice stretch from the fingertips up the arm into the shoulders. On your next breath in, we're going to slowly roll up, rounding the spine, coming through our cat pose, lifting the hips up. And as we exhale, we're going to arch the spine and send the hips back to that child's pose. Let's do that again. Inhale, roll the spine as you round forward through cat. And exhale, arch the spine, coming back through cow and child's pose. 2 more times just like that, moving with the breath and maybe finding some fluidity in this movement. Channeling the waves of the sea, the smoothness in the body. Beautiful. Let's do that one more time. Rolling forward and exhale back. Now go ahead and come up to a neutral spine, so no arching or rounding, and lift your toes up. We're setting ourselves up in this plank pose on the knees. And with the elbows pointing backwards, we're going to lower all the way to the belly through our chaturanga for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and all the way down. Lower the feet. Slide your hands under your shoulders. We're going to start to wake up our chest, our upper body with some cobra lifts. So spread the fingers wide, press down into the tops of the feet, squeeze your kneecaps, inhale and peel up one vertebrae at a time, coming to that cobra pose. Shoulders draw back, holding here, and slowly exhale down. Let's do that again. Inhale. Slowly peel up one vertebrae at a time. This is our passive cobra pose because we're using our hands. Let's try to activate it. See what happens if you float your hands up. Can you keep that lift in the torso? Notice how much more work that is, right? Most of us come down a little. That's okay. Lower your hands and come all the way down. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale, peel up. Find that cobra pose with the hands first. And then option to lift up the hands, activate your cobra, and hold it for 3. Breathe for 2, 1. Lower down, tuck your toes, bend your knees, and lift your hips up and back to your first downward facing dog. So just taking a moment, maybe pedal the legs, right? This is our first down dog of the practice. Spread those fingers wide, hug those elbows in, and reach your belly for the tops of your thighs. Taking one more breath right here. And slowly lower the knees back down onto the mat, coming to our tabletop pose, but this time extend right leg out to the side with the toes pointing forward. See if you can get the outer edge of that foot reaching down for the ground. With your inhale, send your hips back. We're coming into a stretch for that inner right thigh, that adductor here. Using our hands to help support us. Breathing into the stretch. Just notice how it feels on this side of the body. And on your next breath in, come all the way up to kneeling, reach the arms up. And exhale, gate pose, left arm reaches up and over, right hand slides down the outside of that right leg. Good, and being mindful of your neighbor, you know you need to stagger yourself a little bit. Inhale, both arms back up through center. And now we're gonna come into an adductor stretch, but actively. So without using the hands, send those hips back, hover the torso, hover the arms above the ground. Notice how much more work that is to actively stretch for 3, 2, 1. Plant your hands, and in one fluid movement, sweep that right leg up to a 3-legged dog. Just taking a moment here to reach those right toes all the way up to the sky. Keep the hips square here. One more breath. And then lower the right leg, come back to your tabletop, but this time left leg comes out to the side. Beautiful, coming back to that adductor stretch, send the hips back, reach the fingers forward, breathing into that left inner thigh. Inhale and exhale. On your next breath in, reach those arms up, kneeling pose. And exhale, gate pose, right arm reaches up and over. Maybe even gaze up past your right elbow, spiraling the heart. Finding length in the right side body. Inhale, left arm back up. And exhale, back to your active adductor stretch, hovering the arms, hovering the torso and the chest above the ground. For 3, make sure to breathe. For 2, and 1. Nice. Plant the hands, and in one fluid movement, sweep those left toes up towards the sky. 3-legged dog on the other side. Really push the floor away with both hands. Reach those left toes nice and high. And then lower the left foot down and walk your hands back towards your feet. You can keep a bend in the knees. Shift your weight back to your heels and let your belly rest on the tops of your thighs like a ragdoll pose, but go ahead and bring your hands behind your back, clasping them together behind you. Good, let your head get heavy, reach the crown of your head down, and then bring those knuckles up and overhead as if you were trying to get the pinky fingers to touch the ground in front of you. Stretching those shoulders. Again, send your weight back to your heels. Slow inhale and slow exhale. Release your hands and slowly roll up to standing, one vertebrae at a time. We're going to make our way to a standing balance, so go ahead and send your weight to your left foot. Find your drishti, a spot where you can focus your gaze on, and go ahead and clasp your hands around the front of your right knee. Using your hands, see how high you can draw your knee up and into your chest. And this is our passive version of this posture. I think you know what's coming. We're going to activate it by reaching the arms up, but still draw that right knee in as high as you can. This is our stork pose. Breathing here, finding that balance. Wiggling and wobbling is encouraged. That's how we learn. And slowly lower down. And we take that to the other side. So anchor down into that right foot, and starting with our passive version, draw the left knee in using your hands, getting the thigh nice and close to the chest. And once you found your balance, go ahead and come to your stork pose, drawing that left knee in as high as you can, reaching the arms up, breathing, maybe falling, maybe wobbling, it's all good. And slowly lower down. Beautiful job. Bringing hands to heart center, getting ready to move through our first round of our flow. Let's take a clearing breath. And on your next inhale, circle the arms up, gaze up. And as you exhale, hinge at the hips, come to your Uttanasana, your forward fold. Remember, the knees can be bent. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, half lift. Hands can be on the shins, nice long spine. And then exhale, lower your hands and walk to your downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep the right toes up. We're coming back to our three-legged dog, but this time we're gonna bend the knee and open the hip. So think about reaching that right knee up towards the sky, right toes towards your left shoulder. Pressing the floor away with both hands, inhale. And then go ahead and square your hips and draw your knee to your nose in your high plank. See how high you could get that right thigh towards your chest. Beautiful, flex your right foot and step it forward in between your hands. Lower your left knee, we're coming to a low lunge. Inhale, reach the arms up. Keep that spine in neutral. Just reach the hands behind you, palms together in prayer pose. Imagine you're just trying to get those fingertips to touch your left heel behind you. So this is a shoulder stretch. I'm not looking for like dumping in that back. I want a nice neutral spine, core engaged, stretching the shoulders. Inhale. And then exhale, lower the hands, straighten that front leg and make your way to an Ardha Hanumana half split. Right toes are flexed. Draw that left hip back. Inhale, long spine, and exhale, fold over that right leg. So we're breathing into the right hamstrings. This is our passive version of our stretch. And we're gonna activate it, if you choose to, by reaching the fingers back, digging that right heel down, and breathing for 3, 2, 1. Nicely done. Plant your hands, bend the right knee, and spin that back heel down as we reach the arms up to our warrior one. Beautiful. Remember how we activated those glutes in our bridge pose? Activate that left glute right here. Reach the arms up, right hip back. Inhale. And then exhale, clasp your hands behind your back with the right thumb on top. Squeeze the shoulder blades. And with your exhale, hinge forward, coming into a humble warrior. So right shoulder comes to the inside of the right knee. Crown of the head reaches down. Clasped hands reach up and overhead. Beautiful. Keep pressing down through that outer edge of your left foot. Taking one more breath right here. And then slowly lift up and plant your hands as you step back to plank pose. Come to your knees. We're gonna flow through that chaturanga on the knees, lowering all the way down to the belly, straightening the legs and lifting up into that cobra pose with the option to activate it. Float the hands and plant the hands and lift up and back to downward facing dog. We're here for 3 breaths. This is our resting posture, but anytime you feel like you might want to take a break, know that child's pose is always available anytime throughout the practice. We're going to go ahead and move through our sequence on the other side. So on your next inhale, sweep left toes up to three-legged dog. Bend the knee and open the hip. So left knee points up to the sky. Left toes are reaching towards that right shoulder. Good. Keep pressing evenly through both hands. And then square your hips, draw knee to nose in your high plank. Find that core compression. Draw the left knee as high as you can. Beautiful. Flex the left foot and step it forward between the hands. Inhale, arms up, finding that low lunge. And then adding our shoulder stretch. So hands in prayer, fingers reaching down, core is engaged. But I like to imagine I'm reaching my elbows up to the sky. Inhale. And exhale, lower the hands, straighten that front leg, Ardha Hanuman, half split. Left toes are flexed, if that feels good. Inhale, long spine, and exhale to fold. And then option to activate this stretch by reaching the fingers back, digging that left heel down. This is our active half split. One more breath right here. And then plant your hands, bend the front knee, and spin your back heel down. Inhale, warrior one, arms come up. Right glute is activated. Exhale, clasp the hands behind you with the left thumb on top. Squeeze the shoulder blades, open the heart, and fold into your humble warrior, left shoulder to the inside of that left knee. Keep pressing down through that outer edge of your right foot. Reach those arms up and overhead. Inhale. And exhale, release the hands and step back to your plank pose. Lower to your knees and flow through chaturanga, coming all the way down. Inhale to cobra pose with the option to float the hands. And exhale, downward facing dog for 3 breaths. On your next breath, slowly walk your hands back to your feet. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Beautiful. We're going to come back to that stork pose. So anchor down into that left foot. On your next breath in, sweep the arms up. Draw that right knee into your chest. Find your stork pose. Now this time, flex your right foot. Cross the ankle above that left knee. We're coming to that figure 4 shape. So right knee draws back. And then we're going to bend the left knee and make our way to a chair pose with our figure 4 legs. Remember, wiggling, wobbling, falling, it's all good. See if you can relax your shoulders down from your ears, maybe even smile. Inhale, and exhale, come back to standing as we take that to the other side. So really rooting down through that right foot. Find that drishti. Inhale, reach the arms up. Stork pose with that left knee nice and high. And then flexing the left foot, finding that figure 4 shape. And when you feel ready, making your way to that chair pose. Shoulders are relaxed. We're unclenching our jaw. We're breathing for 3, 2, 1. Nicely done. Come back to standing as I make our way through our second round of flow. We're going to move through our sequence and add on. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. And exhale, hinge uttanasana. Halfway lift. Breathe out and walk your hands back to your downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep the right toes up to the sky. Bend the knee and open the hip. We're just here for 1 breath. Square the hip, draw knee to nose, high plank. Step it forward as we make our way to a low lunge. We've been here before. We're just here for 1 breath this time. Hands together, stretch the shoulders, reach the fingertips back. Inhale. And exhale, fold to your Ardha Hanuman, maybe coming right to that active variation with the fingertips reaching back. 1 breath right here, nice long spine. And then inhale, bend the knee, spin the back heel, find your warrior 1. 1 breath. Clasping hands behind the back with the right thumb on top, squeeze the shoulder blades. Exhale, fold, humble warrior, just 1 breath. Getting ready to add on to our sequence. On our next inhale, we're gonna lift the arms and lift that left heel up as we make our way to a high lunge. Just take a moment to really root down through both feet. Inhale. And with your exhale, come to a charging lunge. So we're just gonna reach the fingers back, reach the crown of the head forward. We're gonna shift our way to that front leg and float the back leg up as we make our way to warrior 3. This is a challenging balance, so don't worry about following. We're going to add on to our other balances. See if you can come right to that stork pose without lowering that left foot. Find your drishti, keep that left knee lifting, and then coming to our figure 4 chair pose. Beautiful, 1 breath right here. Inhale, and when you're ready, exhale, lifting up and stepping back to that charging lunge. Beautiful job. Inhale, windmill those arms, find your warrior 2. So both hips are facing that left side of the mat. Inhale, flip the front palm, and exhale, reverse your warrior, right arm reaches up and back. 1 breath right here. Inhale, straighten your front leg, and exhale, make your way to Trikonasana, triangle pose. Just bring your right hand to rest on your right shin, left arm up to the sky. And this is our passive Trikonasana, because we've got our right hand here resting on the shin. And you know it's coming up. We're gonna activate this pose by floating both arms up and framing the head with the arms. Notice how much more work that is here in the obliques, in the legs. Hold it here for 3. Keep lengthening the spine for 2. And 1, use your core, use your legs to come upright. Exhale, plant the hands and step back to plank pose. Beautiful job. We're flowing through chaturanga, either on the knees or maybe on the toes. Inhale to cobra or maybe upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, 3 breaths. Use your downward facing dog as an opportunity to reconnect with your Ujjayi breath. On your next inhale, sweep the left toes up to the sky, bend the knee and open the hip. 1 breath. Square the hips, draw knee to nose, high plank, and then step it through. Inhale, lower the knee and reach the arms up, low lunge, add that shoulder stretch. Getting ready to come to our Ardha Hanuman, maybe that active variation. 1 breath right here, beautiful, hinging at the hips. Inhale, finding that warrior 1. Rooting down through that back foot. Clasp the hands behind the back with the left thumb on top. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Inhale, open the heart, and exhale, fold, humble warrior. 1 breath. Inhale, lift that back heel, reach the arms up, low lunge. Really straighten that back leg. Exhale, hinge forward, charging lunge. Shifting the weight to that front leg, and when you're ready, pick up the back leg and make your way to warrior 3. Find your drishti, and then seeing if we can come to that stork pose as gracefully as possible. Draw the right knee up and in, and then flex the foot and find your chair pose with figure 4 legs. Beautiful. Keep those shoulders down the ears. Inhale, and exhale, step the right foot back, charging lunge. And then we circle the arms, find that warrior 2. Nice strong warrior arms. Inhale, flip the front palm. Exhale, reverse your warrior. 1 breath, find length through the left side of the body. Exhale, straighten that left leg. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale, make your way to Trikonasana with the left hand on top of that left shin. Coming to this passive version first, and then maybe framing the head with both hands, finding that active version, working those obliques for 3, 2, 1. Use the core and the legs to come upright, and then plant your hands and step back to your plank pose. Beautiful, moving through our vinyasa, lower through chaturanga on the knees or the toes. Inhale to cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale to downward facing dog for 3 deep breaths. One more breath. And then walk your hands back towards your feet. Inhale, halfway lift, nice long spine. And exhale to fold Uttanasana. Inhale, sweep the arms up, reverse swan dive. And exhale, hands to heart center. Beautifully done. We're gonna move through our entire sequence, which we've just done. 1 breath per posture. You guys ready? Here we go. On your next breath in, circle those arms up, gaze up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, walk the hands, downward facing dog. Inhale, right toes up to the sky, 3-legged dog. Bend the knee and open the hip for 1 breath. Square the hips, draw knee to nose, high plank. Step the right foot forward, find that low lunge. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, shoulder stretch, 1 breath. Inhale, we're straightening that front leg. Exhale, making our way to our active half split. One breath. Beautiful. Inhale, sweep the arms up, spin the back heel, warrior one, one breath. Clasp the hands with the right thumb on top, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and as you breathe out, hinge forward, humble warrior. One breath. Inhale, finding that high lunge, back heel lifts, fingers reach up, and exhale, charging lunge as we reach the fingers back. Getting ready to send the weight to our front leg, float the back leg up, warrior three, and doing your best, coming to stork pose, left knee draws up, and then chair pose with our figure four. One breath. Inhale. Exhale, come back to standing. Send the left foot back, charging lunge. Inhale, windmill those arms, warrior two, one breath. Flip the front palm, exhale to your reverse warrior. And then inhale to your Trikonasana, coming either to that passive version or maybe that active version with both arms up. Just one breath. Inhale, use those obliques to lift up. And exhale, spin the hands to the ground, step back to plank. Flow through your chaturanga. Inhale to cobra or upward dog. And exhale to downward facing dog. 3 breaths right here. We're going to move through that sequence on the other side for our last time. Let's take one more breath. On your next inhale, float those left toes up to the sky, 3-legged dog. Bend the knee and open the hip, one breath. Square the hip, high plank, knee to nose. Step your front foot forward, find your low lunge, and add that shoulder stretch, one breath. Inhale, and as you exhale, find your way to your half split, passive or active for one breath. Inhale, bend the front knee, and exhale, find that warrior one, one breath. Inhale, clasp the hands with the left thumb on top. Squeeze the shoulders, open the heart. And exhale, fold, humble warrior, one breath. Inhale, high lunge, lift that back heel. And exhale, charging lunge, send those fingertips back. Inhale, warrior three. Remember to breathe. And exhale, find your way to stork pose. Woo, this wind. Inhale, flex the foot and come to your figure four chair pose, one breath. Inhale, stepping back to that charging lunge. And exhale, warrior two, pressing down through that outer right foot. Inhale, reverse your warrior, one breath. And exhale, Trikonasana, either variation, whatever feels best for your practice today, passive or active. Beautiful. Press down into the feet as you lift up. Plant your hands and step back to plank. Flow through chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths right here. On your next inhale, walk your hands back to your feet. Find your half lift, nice long spine. Exhale to fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, sweep those arms up, gaze up, and exhale, hands to heart center. Beautifully done. We're gonna move to a few standing balances. So let's start with the tree pose. Everyone's heard of tree pose. Well, we're gonna play around with it today. So when you're ready, shift your weight to your left foot, really root down into all 4 corners of that foot. Find your drishti, find your gaze, something in front of you that's not moving. And then plant that sole of your right foot somewhere along your left leg. So either the ankle or the shin, or maybe using your hand to guide it a little higher on the thigh. And then we're going to use that compression of foot into leg and leg into foot to find our passive tree pose. Beautiful. Relax your shoulders. We're going to activate this pose. First, we're going to reach the arms up, and then we're going to pull that right foot off of the left leg. So keep lifting that right knee up as high as you can. Hold it. Breathe for 3. Wiggle and wobble for 2. And slowly lower down. Smiling all along. Here we go. Same thing on the other side. So shifting weight and anchoring down to that right foot. When you're ready, make your way to your version of tree pose that feels good. Find that compression between left foot, right leg, and then bring your hands to heart center. When you're ready, reach those arms up and float that left foot off of the right leg. Keep drawing that left knee as high as you can. Shoulders down from the ears. Breathing for 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Beautifully done. We've got one more standing balance. It's a fun one. Here we go. Moving back to that left foot, pressing down into the ground. We're going to grab the right foot behind us, either with one hand or both, whatever feels good. And then we're going to start with a little stretch for the quad and the front of the hip by pointing that right knee down and maybe even slightly back behind the left knee. So this is our passive stretch. We're going to activate it by releasing the hands, but imagine that you're reaching those right toes up as high as you can, like you're going to tap your shoulder blades with the right toes. Option to stay here or maybe add that shoulder stretch from our low lunge, coming to an active dance or reaching toes to feet, feet to toes. Breathing for 3, 2, 1. And when you're ready, slowly release. Let's take that to the other side. So shifting into that right foot. Take your time, really root down. When you're ready, find that passive version. So draw the heel in, point the knee down, and maybe back behind that right knee. Just take a moment, settle your gaze, settle your breath, and when you're ready, release the foot, but draw those left toes as high as you can towards your middle of your shoulders. Option to add that arm stretch, hands in prayer, reaching fingers to toes, toes to fingers. Breathing for 3, 2, 1. Nicely done. Shake it out. We're going to start our cool down. So when you're ready, sweep those arms up. Gaze up to the sky. Exhale, hinging forward. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Walk your hands back to your downward facing dog. Let's lift those left toes up. You don't have to come super high here. We're just going to bend the knee and plant it right between those hands. So we're coming to a pigeon pose. We're setting ourselves up for a nice calming pigeon pose. So a few options here. That left heel for a deeper stretch can be kind of towards the front of your mat, or for something a little more gentle, pull that heel in. What we want to think about is really distributing the weight evenly between both hips. So if you find yourself leaning to one side, do your best to square the hips. And then when you're ready, draw the shoulders down from the ears. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, walk your hands forward and make your way to sleeping pigeon. So we're going to rest the forehead down onto the backs of the hands. We'll be here for about 6 breaths. Just let your body get heavy. Let your eyes close. And see if you can soften into your outer left hip. Let's take one more breath right here. And slowly make your way up. And we're just going to add a fun version of pigeon here, an active pigeon. So what we're going to do is Keep the legs where they are, just reach your arms out to the sides, and instead of using our hands, we're gonna lower and hover our chest down towards our legs. Again, notice how much more work this is. You really have to activate the legs, so we're stretching and activating at the same time. Our active pigeon pose. Holding it here, just 5 count. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Use your legs to lift up. Beautiful job. Keep that right leg where it is. Just take your back leg, spin it around, and plant the sole of your right foot to the outside edge of your left knee. We're setting up for a nice reclined seated twist. So right hand's gonna come behind the back. With your inhale, reach those left fingertips up to the sky. And with your exhale, hook the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Breathing in, reach the crown of your head up, find length in the spine, and breathing out, twist looking over your right shoulder. So with each breath in, we want to think about length through the spine. And with each breath out, we want to think about depth in our rotation. Let's take one more breath in our twist. And then we're slowly going to come back to center. Option to make your way to down dog any way you like. If you feel like flowing through, you can plant your hands, shift your weight forward, and maybe jump back to plank. Maybe flow through your vinyasa if you're up for it, and maybe not. Maybe just coming straight back to downward facing dog. Taking a moment right here. We're going to take that right leg, reach it up, and then bend the knee and settle it down in between the hands, setting up for pigeon on the other side. Again, find the optimal placement for that right foot. It can be higher up or closer in. Distribute your weight evenly between both hips. Inhale, shoulders down, heart opens. And exhale, walk the hands forward, making your way to our sleeping pigeon, resting forehead on the backs of the hands, and closing the eyes as we settle in for 6 deep, slow breaths. Taking one more breath right here. And slowly, when you're ready, making your way back up. Getting ready for that active pigeon. So reaching those arms out to the sides, activate the legs, and slowly hover the chest down. Use those legs to stabilize. Breathe into the stretch for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, without using your hands, lifting all the way up and making our way to our seated twist. So left foot comes and circles right across that right knee. Left hand comes behind the back. Inhale, reach the right fingers up. And exhale, hook that elbow and use it to get deeper into your twist. Inhale, nice long spine. And exhale, gaze over that left shoulder. Beautiful. Really use your inhale to create space in the spine, and use your exhale to create depth in your twist. Making your way back to center. Uncross the legs. We're going to come into a nice little stretch for the shoulders. Plant your hands behind you, right under the shoulders. Feet are hip distance apart. With your inhale, we're going to lift up to a reverse tabletop, just stretching the shoulders and the front body. Lifting for 5. Chin can be tucked or head can be back for 4. Keep pressing into the hands and feet for 3. Squeeze those glutes for 2. And 1. Nicely done. Lower the hips. We're going to come to a boat pose, so Option 1, bringing hands behind the knees, floating the shins parallel to the floor. Shoulders are down from the ears. Option 2, maybe straighten the legs or maybe float those fingers up. The only thing that's important is trying not to round the back. So lift the heart. Breathe for 5 and 4. Beautiful. Smile for 3, 2, 1, and slowly lower down. Beautiful job. We're going to come back all the way onto our spine, recline position, making our way to a happy baby pose. So option 1 here is to grab your hands behind your knees, clasp your hands together, draw your thighs into your rib cage. Feet are going to be flexed. Option 2, if you'd like to go a little deeper, is to draw your knees into your armpits by reaching your hands around to the outer edges of your feet and using your hands to deepen the stretch. Wherever you are, I'd like for you to think about getting your sacrum to touch the floor. So if you're in this deeper version, but your lower half of your spine is lifting up, then try to come to that first variation, right? We really want to stretch the entire length of the spine from tailbone through neck, shoulders. Have it touching and pressing down into the earth. Couple breaths right here. One more breath as you watch the clouds pass over the sky and the buildings above us. What a cool view, huh? And slowly release the legs. Shake it out. We're going to make our way to Shavasana, our final resting posture. Few options here. Option 1, bring the soles of your feet together. Lay back. Left hand to heart, right hand to belly. So this is offering a nice stretch in the hips. If you want something a little more relaxing, perhaps, maybe straighten the legs and just let the feet flop out to the side. Most important thing here is that you're comfortable. See if you can tuck your shoulder blades underneath you. See if you can gently tuck your chin, feeling a lengthening through the back of your neck. And when you feel comfortable, close your eyes and tune back into your breath. We're going to take a moment here in our Shavasana just to do a short body scan, just checking in after our practice to see how everything's feeling. We're starting at the soles of your feet, your toes, your heels. See if you can soften. Relaxing your ankles. Soften your shins and your calves and your knees. Beautiful. Relaxing your thighs, your quads, your hamstrings, and your glutes. We did a lot of work on our lower body today. So see if you can soften and let everything get heavy. And making your way up to your hips, soften your belly. With your inhale, feel your rib cage expand, feel your heart space open as you fill the lungs with fresh air. And as you exhale, just sigh out anything you're holding on to that doesn't serve you. Inhale, soften your shoulders. Let your arms get heavy. Release tension in your elbows, your wrists, and even your fingertips. And relax your neck and soften your jaw. Unclench and soften even the muscles inside your mouth, your tongue, and around your nose. And let your eyes sink a little bit deeper to the backs of their sockets. Soften your forehead. and allow your awareness to rest right at the space between your eyes. Before we end our practice today, I wanted to take this opportunity before all of us, myself included, before we jump back into our busy day with commotion all around us and come back to our to-do list, I want to share a few of my favorite quotes about slowing down with you right here. The first quote is by Lao Tzu. And he says, "Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished." The next quote is by Nanette Matthews. "If you're always racing to the next moment, what happens to the one you're in? Slow down and enjoy the moment you're in and live your life to the fullest." The next quote by Pico Iyer. "In an age of speed, I began to think, nothing could be more invigorating than going slow. In an age of distraction, nothing can feel more luxurious than paying attention." And one more quote, one of my favorites, by Kaylee Dre. She says, "Slow living is not about living your life in slow motion. It's about doing everything at the right speed and pacing instead of rushing." By that same logic, slow living is not about losing. It's about gaining time by doing the things that are most important to you. And slowly begin to bring your awareness back to your physical body. Just keep the eyes closed, but wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Maybe circle the wrists and the ankles once more. And then on your next breath in, just reach your arms up overhead as if you were taking your first big yawn and your big stretch of the day. Sigh it out. And then again, keep those eyes closed as you roll over to one side, coming to a little fetal position, maybe giving yourself one little squeeze here. And take your time making your way to a comfortable seated position with the legs crossed. Bringing hands to heart center. Just tucking your chin for a moment as we end our practice on a note of gratitude. Just think of one thing that brings you joy and gratitude. It could be anything, big or small. Something as small as waking up in the morning, just making your way here, the fact that you are here. I'm so grateful that you're here. And hold on to that feeling of gratitude for the rest of your day and notice how much it changes the rest of your day. Your interactions with yourself and with others. Share that. Make it contagious. And I want to wish you all a very beautiful day. I'm so grateful that you're here with me today for this practice. Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Wow, Riva, thank you so much for your wonderful inspirational class. I was watching from the side and noticed that at the very beginning, there was a lot of sense of grounding through the pelvis and all of that.
Yeah.
Was that I'm sure it was an intention, but can you talk to us about that approach initially, and what was your thinking about that?
Well, I really wanted to kick the class off with a lot of grounding, especially in the lower half of the body, since we had a lot of more energizing movement through the lower half of the body a little later on in the flow, and I really just wanted to kick things off with this calming and grounding feeling so that people were able to move into that more energizing portion, feeling more safe and stable.
Wow, I love it, and especially in this environment where
Yes.
everything is frenetic anyway, very
Exactly.
fata here in the city,
Exactly.
in the Times Square.
Exactly.
And to start with that kind of grounding was
Yeah.
amazing and wonderful.
Thank you.
I loved how, as you were ending your class, you were saying, just be inside yourself. The quotes that you mentioned about
Yeah.
finding space,
Yeah.
slowing
Slowing
down.
Yeah.
It's essential.
I
Please.
really wanted to emphasize slowing
Yeah.
down today, because I feel like that juxtaposition of being in a place that's so frenzied and fast, like take that pause, and do that throughout the day as you need to. Sometimes the outside world is really rushing us and putting pressure on us to speed through the day, but it's so important, and we'll be able to really focus better and be more productive if we take the pause, slow down, and we're more mindful and focused.
Yes, absolutely. Was this more like your own personal practice, or did you build it for this environment?
A little bit of both. This was
Uh-huh.
pretty similar to what I enjoy doing. A lot of grounding postures, and then infusing some more energizing postures. I like to incorporate both passive and active stretching. So I like to give the option to the classes that I'm leading, because sometimes you want something that's a little softer, a little more
Yes.
passive, and other days you just feel like having something a little more energizing. So I really wanted to offer both
Yes,
options.
it was wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
Thank you for having me.
You're amazing.
It was a
teacher.
blast.
Thank you. What would you leave with the world now that we have this platform? What would you suggest to us as
Take your time, slow down, take a deep breath. That pause, before we do something, before we speak, it's invaluable. It's probably the most important thing we can do for ourselves.
well said? I'll receive
Thank
that.
you.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much for
Thank you.
participating this
Thank
year.
you so much for having me.
Thank you.